Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's hobby live stream. Let me know. I'm gonna down the music a little bit. We bumped it. We bumped it yesterday when we were doing our Warhammer preview, which was a lot of fun. That happened yesterday. We got to see all of the reveals from the Nova Open. If you have not watched that, when we're done with this, well, you can go enjoy that and see my reactions to all of the cool new stuff that we're getting. And I actually think there was quite a few cool new stuff. Is it still too loud?
Yeah, you see how the sound bar is going up to 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I had bumped it down, but I hadn't bumped it down.
Yeah, you want it more like around here.
Understood, okay.
Between 35 and 30.
Okay, perfect. Hello, Ale Magnus Arstad? I think I said that right. Hello to Yuri as well. Good morning, everybody. So, as I was saying, once the, sorry about the music being a little loud, we had the preview yesterday, and Games Workshop notoriously just cannot get the volumes right on their mics for their hosts. They are constantly super soft-spoken, and I don't know what it is. Like, I think they just need to up the gain or something. I don't know, but they get really soft. Hello to Two Heads Talking, as well as that guy LX and Mercarion. Hello, everybody. Good morning. We're back working on the Panzer today. So I was thinking about it, and I want to do a little bit more dry brushing on this bad boy but I want to do it with the slightly lighter color that I have. I want to see what that looks like. I did realize that I forgot my brushes though. So give me 1 second. I need to run off to the other room for a second and grab the brushes that I cleaned yesterday. Hello, Otto. Good morning to you. And by brushes, I really mean I just needed one. I needed this little god hand brush that I was using the other day because it just works so well, and I was able to clean it. So while it is frayed, like, it is getting... Maybe we can get it... There we go. It's getting a little bit rough, but because this is a dry brush, that's okay. That's okay. We've got not a lot going on today, other than the fact that we're going to be continuing working on this tank. Mercarion, we are still playing our Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, but we have decided to go ahead and take it off stream and just continue on ourselves. We've just been really enjoying it, and the views that we're getting on those particular streams were slowly degrading very quickly after the first couple, like, you know, because other people are playing it themselves, they're exploring it for themselves. So I don't think we're going to continue playing that on stream. However, tomorrow I do actually have a fun surprise. I bought the collector's edition of Starfield so that I could play it early. So tomorrow for our live stream, instead of it being a hobby live stream, that's kind of why this is a hobby one today, and tomorrow's is going to be a video game one, because tomorrow I'm actually going to be trying out Starfield for the first time. And I'm really mixed on what my feelings are on it. I've started watching a few videos from various people who had already got their hands on it to see what is it like. And there are some things that have me excited. There are other things that I'm like, this is not what I was expecting. Interesting. So it's going to be fun to explore, I think, tomorrow, and that is exactly what I am looking forward to. But today, we're going to work on this tank. All right. So I've got my lighter color down. Just going to get a little bit of it onto the brush, and then we're going to test this on the underside because I don't want to... I don't want to overwhelm it. This is a much lighter color. But I thought it might help emphasize, like, a little bit of wear without applying specific weathering. So I'm going to test this on, like, the inside of the treads, which are going to get a lot of weathering anyways. Okay, yeah, I do like a little bit of the extra punch that brings. What happens if I do it here? Yeah, I do like that. So I think we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna add some more of this lighter color on there. Oh, nice. I'm not surprised that they're going to be adding more stuff into the game. Although I didn't think there was going to be too much in regards to, like, DLC and everything. At least that's what I thought I had heard from Larian. But it's been very popular, so I would not be surprised if we ended up seeing some plans for DLC coming down the line. Okay, yeah, I really do enjoy what this is doing. Especially on the treads. So I might focus this color here a little bit. It is definitely giving me a more dramatic difference between the highlight color and my shadow color. Also, I figured because I am going to be weathering this bad boy quite a bit. Like, I want to play with a lot of powders. I actually picked up some AK splatter effects dirt to try putting on the treads and everything, and maybe doing a little bit of work, which I've never used the AK stuff before, so I'm going to have to do some tests with this. I haven't actually even opened it yet to see, like, what the consistency is like. It sounds much more fluid than some of the other, like, texture paints that I've worked with, so it's going to be interesting using this. Yeah, I'm really thinking that because this is going to end up getting caked in powders and stuff, that I really want to emphasize some of these highlights. Well, carry on. Maybe one day I'll paint a panther. / build a panther. We'll have to wait till we're done with the Sherman first, though. Oh yeah, those rivets are standing out a lot better now, I think, too. Okay, I'm really glad I'm doing this. They have decided to watch the stream with you? That's hilarious. What kind of fish are they? I haven't had fish since I was, like, real little. And I only ever, like, had goldfish. I never did anything, like, cool or exotic or fun. We also didn't stick with it very, very long because I wasn't very good at taking care of them, so they died a lot. And we just kind of stopped. We stopped getting them at that point. What kind of fish do you have? Because I know there's, like, some really cool breeds that you can end up having at your home. Also, do let me know, for those of you that have seen the Warhammer previews already, what was your favorite reveal? this was such a good choice. I'm so happy. Because basically, how I'm looking at it is my previous dry brush gave me just a little bit of nice weathering on the paint job itself. And a little, like, aged it down a little bit. Now I feel like we're doing a little bit of harder emphasis of some of the paint may have come off of some of the hard edges, and that's where we're getting it. I'm really happy that I did this. The 30K box set does look really good, Two Heads Talking. I completely agree. The squid! Yes, that guy. Oh my god, yes, the squid. The squid looked amazing, and I really want to get that Underworld set specifically for that model. And the Slaanesh models in there. I wasn't, like, the items with Deepkin are cool. I wasn't super impressed with the ones that came in that particular Underworld set, which is sad, because I actually think some of the other just more normal items Deepkin, like, models have been really cool lately. I did like the jellyfish that was with the leader character, but otherwise I felt they were kind of just there. I mean, they weren't bad, they just weren't great to me. Fulgrim, oh my god, that reveal was so pleasant. As it should be. It was excessive. Again, as it should be. Like, god, it was just so cool. Thank you for subscribing, Air and Space 46 and beyond. Oh, you know, I haven't actually checked, because I'm sure the article's up now. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. We're just going to look. Is the Fulgrim Forge World and in Resin? Because I'm pretty sure he is. Because we were kind of discussing that last night on the stream. I was in denial, but I'm pretty sure that I should get out of Egypt, come back home, and accept these cookies, as well as accept the fact that this guy is probably Resin. Yeah. He's Resin. It's official in this article. God damn it. He's gonna be such a pain in the ass. I don't know if I'm gonna get him then. Oh. That's such a bummer. I was really hoping they would, like, surprise me. Delight me, even. And put him in plastic. Could you imagine? He looks so good. It's not like they couldn't. They have Marathi. Marathi's in plastic. What is stopping you, GW, from casting that beautiful boy in some sweet, sweet, much more tolerable plastic than Resin? Good lord. Oh well. Oh yeah, no. He is definitely super cool despite being a loser and being in Resin. I wish, I had really wished. But it makes sense. I'm just disappointed. Because it means it's less likely that I'm going to get him. That's really, I think, what I'm most disappointed about, is just that I'm like, oh, well, in that case, then I may not end up picking him up, because Resin models are a pain. Although, not all of them. Like, I've worked with enough Promlex stuff, and they do Resin, and that's fun. It's just that, like, I've heard such bad things about GW's Resin. And not just Finecast. Like, I know Finecast specifically was, like, a previous problem. But I'm talking, like, just in general. That the Forge World models are just not the best to work with. It's more brittle, in my opinion, Resin is. Like, I find that I am more likely to break. In fact, of all of the miniatures that I've ever had sent to me from other people, whether it's companies or fans, if they're Resin, it will come broken. I have not received a Resin model from somebody that didn't arrive broken. or that wasn't like so fragile that when you're putting it together, it breaks. Most of them, though, actually have arrived damaged. Like, even the really cool resin bust that I have of the orc that I got sent from Cromlech, a couple feathers had broken off in transit. And so I really worry about those kinds of models and working with those kinds of models for that reason. They're just not as tolerable as I think other styles of paint or models are. And I mean that like physically, like they just don't seem to withstand pressure. I'm switching back over to my lighter blue because I had not finished dry brushing these canisters that I had wrapped up with the last time we worked on this. So I'm just gonna apply that first before we continue to move on with our brighter highlight. I also might just need to go back in and emphasize some of these lines with this bluer color tone. Okay, I'm actually really liking the way that this is looking. I'm going heavier. Like, I'm intentionally going heavier on these because I want them to look a little bit different than the main paint, but them to still match. So I was like, well, what if I just go heavier on the slightly lighter blue color? I'm actually really liking that. Yeah, that's one of the other reasons I don't like them. I really freaking love this Tamiya extra thin plastic glue cement. And you can't use this on resin models. And I have not found a glue that works on, like, that will hold resin that has a brush tip applicator for cleanliness reasons. Like, they all end up being like Zap-A-Gap, because this will work on resin, and this is what I tend to use whenever I am working on resin models. But like the top of this, and I mean mine's janky as hell because I've had this bottle for a while, but like these little snouts, they are terrible for like control because the glue just flows too much. So what I actually end up doing is I just dump some glue onto a palette because it stays wet long enough. Especially the Zap-A-Gap. Like, don't do this with like extra thin Tamiya, and I don't know if it'd work with the Citadel glue as much, but the the Zap-A-Gap at least, because that does work on resin. I put it onto a my palette here, which I think you would want. I don't know if this would work on like every palette type. Like if you're using a paper palette of some variety that has a waxy surface to it, that may not, like the glue may just absorb into it. But on this waxy surface paper palette that I have, it just sits on top of it. And so I can use just a cheap brush that I don't care about, and I'll use that brush and I'll end up destroying it. But that's how I'll end up applying the glue to like a resin model if I want to be cleaner. But that is wasteful of brushes. So I don't like to do it. Like I just don't like to work with resin for that reason. But who knows? Maybe with this Fulgrim, I'll bite the bullet. Give it a try. It's not like I haven't before. Back sides of these canisters real quick. good. Let's move on to this other back canister. Then I consider yourself very lucky, Andy, because like literally every resin model I have been sent has come in damaged. Whether it's some part of the weapon has broken off and needs to be reattached, or feathers of some variety get like smashed and I have to do that. Like, it's such a problem. Oh, I forgot to paint that. Shit. We'll get some of the watch out here in a second. Alright, this is looking good. I like how it just looks like I'm just like mashing my brush in this like one spot from the angle you're seeing this at. I swear there's paint building up. Alright, that's good. Let's get a little bit of water on that so we can clean it a bit. And then seal up our Tamiya paint. Thank you, Gamer Helen. I think the weathering's coming along quite nicely. Let's see. This is the side where we've done our lighter color tone. And I really, really, really like the way that looks. On this side, we've only done the one pass of the blue, and it still looks good, but it's not emphasized nearly as much as this side. Like, this side looks very handsome to me. We need to emphasize a little bit of work on here. I'm actually going to take this off because I'm afraid I'm going to break one of the guns. But I do think we want to emphasize a little bit more with the lighter color up here, too, just on this top section. Maybe I won't. I'll figure it out. We're going to keep playing. We're going to keep playing. Alright, let's switch it over to take care of this first. One step at a time. Stop distracting me. You're not. I'm just losing my place. Our wash shook up. Doesn't really matter what brush I use. Just grab the full guy. Alright, let's hint this blue. That worked lovely. Let's get a little bit more. There we go, that's a bit better. Let's see if I like darken this a little bit. kind of nice, actually. Kind of like almost glazing some color back on to smooth some of these out, and then that way when I go back in with the brighter color tone, we get even more range. Yeah. Alright, I think I like that. That's nice. That is drying, so we'll let that finish. We can put our wash away. Thank you, John Golden. I am very happy with how it's turning out so far, too. It is looking quite lovely. So while I let the wash that we just applied dry a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and move back to my lighter color tone and continue working on the treads and wheel portions on the other side so that we can get it a little bit more in line with how that's looking, because I really like this. Or sorry, I really like this. This is the one. This needs emphasis though. So let's do it. That's fantastic. Thank you for subscribing, Oscar Bojaka, as well as Crushing Pipe. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Yeah, no, I definitely wanted to go for a lived-in tank. Like, I don't want this thing to look pristine. I don't want it to look like it's just been sitting around, like, rusting like crazy, but I definitely want it to look aged and, like, it's been taken care of, but still has, like, it's, I guess, being used. I don't know for what, just display or something, but I want it to look like it's seeing some use. Also, weathering and, like, making things look sort of older and used is... I really like it. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to go for it, you know? The other thing the reason I like it is because it ends up just being a lot of fun back and forth to me. And I like seeing the paint gradually change. Exactly. I don't want it to look like it's a parade pony at all. It's seen some action. It's doing its job, what it was meant for. And I think this is working actually really well. There's also just something fun about the noise that this brush makes rubbing against the treads. Like, I don't quite get full ASMR, like, enjoyment from all sounds, but this is one of them that I do. Partially because I'm also hearing it through the music, so it's not, like, completely overwhelming me. Yeah, I feel like when it comes to scale models, the only ones that I would want to really make look more pristine and like they could go into like a parade, for example, would be cars. I think like keeping some cars really nice and clean, provided they're not like something like a tractor or something like that, that would want to be, you know, that is a machine more used for earning a living rather. I mean, I guess you can earn livings with cars, but if I got a luxury car, I wouldn't want to make it look like shit, you know? I wouldn't want to muddy it up or anything like that, although that would be kind of funny. Just put a Lamborghini or something, like, caked in mud, like it absolutely should not be, because no one ever drives it through, like, mud like that, but it would be really funny. I don't remember who the YouTuber was, or the streamer, potentially. I don't actually know if he's one or the other more predominantly, because it was a random video that I saw, but I saw a guy drive some sort of luxury car. I think it was a Ferrari through a cornfield. Not like a one that had like full like stalks of corn, but it had recently been harvested. So there was a bunch of husks on the ground. And they accidentally lit the Ferrari on fire because the husks got caught in the brakes and caught fire. And then proceeded to also set their rental van on fire, which was really funny. Even the next build I'm going to be doing for a tank is going to be the Sherman Easy 8. But I will definitely keep in mind the Hertz Tank Killer for a future build. Okay, so it's one that's based on this little guy that I'm working on right now. That's really cool. Hello, Shrek! Welcome to the stream! Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. I am happy with how the treads look now. I want to do some work on the underside. I don't know. Realistically, is it worth me doing the actual bottoms? Because they're just going to be they're not going to be viewed normally. Tell me your opinion. Nice. Like, we want it obviously on this one because this will be seen, but I don't know if I should bother on the very, very bottoms. I think I really like that. Show me, guys. It's looking really good. Oh, that's really cool, Shrek. Well, Charlie, it's gonna get, like, dirt and stuff on it still. But I think we're making some good progress. Don't worry, it's not gonna stay clean. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't really feel like it's necessary to paint the very, very bottoms. Because we're never gonna see them. Let's work on the other side. Oh, Alan, it won't bother me if I know that it's not done. I'm not gonna like lift it up very often. To like I'm never gonna look at the bottom. Why would I care to look at the bottom of it? So like I've done a little bit of work, but I think I'm just gonna leave it mostly unpainted there. Like I darkened it with the wash and everything all the way around, but I think for the highlighting it's really not necessarily to go through that process. Especially since I'm just gonna end up putting mud. Like I'm gonna pretty heavily cake these in dirt. Like in a dust. So I think it'll be fine.
How's it going?
It's going really well. So I've taken my lighter color and I went back over like this section to bring out some additional highlights, and I really like the emphasis on it compared to like the top portion.
Yep.
So I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a light dusting of that everywhere, but I really emphasized it on the treads, and I really like what we're seeing here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm really happy. But I'm not going to bother doing anything here because, like, while
You're
they're...
gonna cover mud.
Exactly. So there's no point in doing, like, the very, very bottom, I don't think. go. Like that. No problem, Shrek. It's my pleasure. The interior of... Remember to mud up the interior of the road wheels, not the wheels themselves, but the holes behind? What? Oh, I think so as well. I'm really enjoying... I also just enjoy this process. That's why I like dry brushing so much over like edge highlighting. I really like just sitting there going and sitting there like rubbing my brush dramatically against things. Okay, I want to emphasize the top of this thing is just not hitting it for me. I think I'm gonna go with the darker blue highlight first, and then I might actually pop it with a little bit of that light blue or the light gray. My light royal gray, I think is what it's called. What color are you? Yes, royal light gray. Sorry, I said that slightly backwards. Matthew Onion, welcome to the stream, sir. Hope you're having a lovely evening. Like a handle of some variety, so I feel like it might get worn a bit more. It's being touched a lot. Sure what this is, but it's got some nice greebling work on it, so I want to emphasize that with some highlights as well. Is that a mirror or something? Not sure. It might be a mirror. Oh, that's why also this looks so weird. Well, I'm gonna leave that on. So the reason this section looks sort of weird is because there's tape there. Because I forgot that I had protected the little grate. There we go. Still got a little bit of color in there, but not too bad actually. I think I'll be able to clean it up a little bit. It is so shiny compared to everything else. We're definitely gonna weather that down. This will probably end up getting more rust than anything else. I don't actually know what this hatch is. When I was building it, they just had me attach it here, but I don't actually know what it represents. So if somebody wants to tell me in the chat, that'd be awesome. Or if you're watching this later on demand and you're down in the comments, you can also tell me what it might be. I'm sure they make it. It probably won't be branded as Hermes, but I really want to find a model kit of... I looked it up, and I'm not going to remember exactly the name of the motorcycle, but it started with a B. I want to say it was like Bauer or something like that. And it's the motorcycle that Kino, if you guys have watched Kino's journey, rides in that series. And it takes her like from land to land. It's a really beautiful series. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. I actually have, when I bought my copy of the show, I got the collector's edition at the time, and it came with this tiny bicycle, or, I mean, you could put this on a motorcycle, I suppose, but they like made it seem like it's a bicycle license plate that has Hermes' name on it, and you can kind of see the silhouette of the motorcycle that I'm talking about. But I really, really want to build one of these. I think like this might be my first motorcycle, if I can find it. Like I need to find and see if it's available. Steven, no problem. I hope your errands go smoothly. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, Shrek, for coming back and hitting the like button. I really appreciate that, sir. Oh, is this the engine compartment? Is that what that is? Or possibly a radiator hatch? Okay. Oh, I see. So it's a radiator hatch. Okay. I guess that would make sense. Like, could they actually fit through this though? I mean, it is kind of the size of this one. I feel like you might have to be a tough squeeze, but that's so cool. Perhaps it's just an air intake vent, maybe? Okay, that makes sense. Wouldn't it be, like, difficult to escape through the engine? Because it'd be hot? Like, if you were inside of it and the tank was actively being used, wouldn't it be too hot to touch? No, it's, let me look it up, because I did look it up earlier, and, or the other day. Kino's Journey Hermes Bike. Okay, so I looked it up. What the Hermes is based off of the Burrow Superior SS100 Grand Alpine. So I want to find a kit of that and build that, because I think it would be amazing. It's a really, here, let me show you. It's a really cool looking bike. There we go. Like, I really, really like it. I think it's rad. Let me see if I can show you the picture of, like, what the bike looks like. So this is it. This is it in the anime. How sick is that? It's beautiful. I love it so much. Hermes is amazing. He also talks. He's a talking motorcycle. But it's really, really cool. Okay, so the engine was water-cooled and the air needs to get to the radiator underneath it. Okay. All right. So that's what this is for. That's what you guys were saying. You said, a lot of you were saying it might be for the radiator to cool it, so that makes sense to me. Let's keep going. I'm gonna start working with the lighter grate. Oh, nope, I'm not. This is dried. And we never touched that up with some dry brushing. I should probably mix my paint. I haven't shook this one in a bit. Okay, it's just an access hatch to be able to also fix the engine. Okay, that makes sense. And then it's vented because it needs to have air pass through it to get to the radiator beneath. That seems the most logical to me as well. Oh, John, I can't see any of the pics that you're sharing, just so that you know. They don't show up in chat. I'm actually not sure if any, like, are you guys seeing the pics? I didn't think you could share photos in a YouTube chat. Oh, is it just for, like, is it really that simple, just to stop stuff from falling in there? Why not just seal it up then? Is it because it does need the air pass through it to get to the radiator, like other people were saying? Yeah, you should be able to send a link, but I don't think there's pictures that sharing in YouTube chats. Not sure there's picture sharing in Twitch chat either, actually. I think it's a safety concern. So no one starts sending, you know, dick pics or something. No one wants that. Okay. That feels good. Realize that we did not do the backside of the treads here. Oh, weird. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing any links. Again, it's probably a safety thing. You can always tweet it to me. Share it to me on Instagram. Those are totally viable things, depending on which is your flavor. Okay. Where was it? Here. I did not get anything on these shreds. Going a little bit lighter than I was because I have a lot more paint on that brush and I'm lazy and I don't want to wipe it off, but spreading this around. Also, I do want the underside, like these edges near the bottom, to look more worn because obviously they're getting more dirt and going over rocks and shit. So they're gonna get worn anyways. I actually don't know. How often do tanks scrape the bottoms of their vehicles? Probably not that often, right? Because they get destroyed too much. Now that I think about it. We'll still get a lot of dirt up there, though, so that's okay. I'm going to actually push that back down. I think I got a little too heavy on that one corner compared to the other one, so let's get a little bit of our wash back out and see if we can knock that back a little. There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Done some airbrushing. I'm sure I'll get there eventually. It's just one of those things that I'm not super comfortable with it yet, and I don't have a good setup for like keeping it out and available for me to use, because I don't want to have it set up in here because I don't have super good ventilation and a way to protect the spray from just like getting everywhere, you know, from the blowback and everything. So I promise we'll explore airbrushes maybe more in the future, but not immediately. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this, how it's coming along. Where are we at? Okay, we just passed noon. I am going to take a short break, maybe grab something very briefly to eat, and then we will be back in about 10 minutes. Alright? And we'll continue working on my little tank. And I think we need to do a little bit more work maybe on the treads. And then I'm going to start working on, I want to do some of these in a little bit of like a leather color tone, because we got some straps around here, and maybe just doing a little bit more emphasizing. I'm really happy with how this is coming along. I think I am almost ready to move on to the weathering step though. There's just a few things where I look every now and then where I'm like, I still want to pump that up a little bit more. So we're going to take that 10-minute break. I will be back at 12. It'll be a little longer than 10 minutes. I'm gonna be back at 12:15. Okay, so you guys can go get yourself a drink, get yourself some food if you want, and I'll be back very, very shortly, and we'll keep working on this. I might even come back a little bit sooner than that. I want to grab something very lightly to eat very quickly. All right, I'll be back in a moment. Hello! I have returned from eating. I also fed my cats, which is why I was slightly late back. I do apologize. Also, thank you for subscribing, Metalum69. That is true, they do make those airbrush stations, but the problem is I don't really have, with the way how my desk is currently set up, because of streaming and filming, I don't have actually space to put up the airbrush station in this room. That is the actual problem. Because otherwise I would do that. Like, I know those exist, I know they're around and everything, but the problem is like, currently, with where the arm of this camera that you're using to see what I'm working on sits, it blocks the other half of this desk, which means that I can't really do much with it, because I don't want to have to constantly... I would rather leave this set up, because I stream so frequently, than constantly pulling it down to be able to do other things, and I don't want to have the airbrush station right by my camera. So until I figure out like a new space for it, it's just, I don't know. You have to absolutely serve the cats, and especially since my little boy had a little bit of a hairball yesterday, and he didn't want to eat too much of his dinner. I wanted to make sure that he got extra food today, because he didn't eat as much yesterday. He's feeling a lot better today, which is very, very good. Anyways, we are here to continue dry brushing. Where's my brush? There it is. Let's go. I think... I know. No, I am not. Yeah, no, I want to try a little bit of this lighter color on the top. I've been debating it. Sat there and debated it while I was eating. And that's what I want to do. So that's what we're doing. Charlie, have you had your brain melted by the lacquer paints from Tamiya? Is that how you know? Because I'm getting that impression, maybe a little bit. Okay, so again, things that are going to be handled more are the ones that I want to emphasize this lighter color on. And I figure these canisters, are these like fuel canisters? Is that what it is? Is like this where they're keeping their petrol or something? Can you keep your airbrush equipment on the floor? Like, even when you're using it? Also, hello, Michael! Welcome to the stream. My goodness, AE. Well, you should absolutely complain to them about that. You should reach out to them, see if they'll give you a sponsorship. Hello, I've lost my sense of smell because of your products. Would you like to sponsor me? I can only imagine. The enamel paints, man, they are rough. I've only experienced them, like, once, and it wasn't for miniatures. I don't even remember, actually, what I was doing that I was using them with. But, yeah, they are rough smelling. So this color, I am intentionally trying to focus more on just the edges. Like the hard edges. To make sure that we're not losing any of that nice like sort of frosting that we've done on with the lighter blue. But so that we do get a punch of this. Oh my god, look how nice that looks. Look how much more defined that is on this one than it is on this one. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. Oh, that sounds pretty bad, actually, yeah. Okay, cool. The Jerry tanks? Got it. Okay, good. I'm glad I understood. They did look like fuel tanks. Why are they called Jerry tanks specifically? Was there like a man named Jerry who was like, this looks like a good canister to put fuel into? Or is there some other reason? I assume there's some other reason. It's not just like that ridiculous. But then again, I don't know. Sometimes things get named for ridiculous reasons. That's looking really nice. So, why? Just because it sounds like Germans? So Jerry's? Oh, okay, I understand. So because the Germans were referred to as Jerry's in World War II, or I assume it's in World War II? Was this a World War II thing, or is this a World War I thing? I assume two, since we're talking, this is a World War II ship, not ship, tank. And because the Brits looted a lot of the cans for fuel because they were more resilient and durable, I see. Got it. Okay. Understood. That's really cool. I had no idea. I didn't know that that's where, like, the etymology of the naming convention came from. That's really neat. Wait, why were the Brits... Why? That's so odd. I don't understand how these nicknames come about sometimes. I assume they're all meant to be insults in some way, but I don't know. Well, I knew that I get the Yanks, because Yankee. Because they're Northerners. Bored British military guys? Okay. That's good, I suppose. First I was thinking maybe it was a speed of referring to the, like, the enemy, but then I was like, well, no, that doesn't make sense, because if that's the case, then, the Brits should just be referred to as the Brits. That's shorter to say than Tommies. I went a little heavier on that than I meant to, because I had more paint on my brush than I realized. So let's see if we can step that back a little bit. That looks better. All right, there we go. There we go. You know, that makes sense. That does make sense. I've never really heard it described that way, Charlie, but yes, war does look like it's a lot of boring with moments of sheer panic. Hello, Alan. Welcome to the stream. You have not missed anything important. I have just been continuing to work on the dry brushing on my little Panzer 38T. We have emphasized some highlights with a slightly lighter gray today, which we were not using previously, and I'm really liking the effect. I also removed the tape that was over here, because I forgot it was there, from when we were priming, to help protect this metal bit, which I learned is the grate for the radiator to allow air to get down into the engine and such, which is pretty cool. Oh, okay, so Tommy is the same as GI in America? actually realized I don't know what the GI and GI Joe stands for. I'll look it up. I actually don't. I don't know if I've ever looked that up. GI Joe. What does the G and the I stand for? Galvanized iron. Ah, also interpreted as government issue. I like galvanized iron. That is so much cooler. I had no idea that's what the GI stood for. I want to believe that it was galvanized iron. No one can convince me that it's government issue. That's so boring. I understand that that's probably what it is, but galvanized iron Joe? It's a motherfucking space marine, guys. That's so much cooler. That's so much cooler. Do you guys not? It should be galvanized iron. Just please accept that. Accept that into your canon. You're not getting sound? My mic's working, I see that, and I think everybody else has been getting me. Ivan, are you sure that you haven't accidentally muted my stream, perhaps? Or did I lose audio? Please someone confirm in chat whether or not you can hear me talking or not. I do not plan on sealing my paint job before I apply any washes. I'm just gonna go for it. I seal things at the end. You have sound? Okay. That's what I thought I might. I was like, nothing on my end is showing that sound is a problem, so. Maybe that was reference to something else. I don't know. Also, hello, Jonathan Mora. I did not see your giant shout of hello, everyone, but I have now, and I am saying hello. 5 by 5. 5 by 5 what? Are you confirming that you have sound? Is that what you're doing? I literally, like, okay, so I went to Google and people also asked, what is... Curse you. What is the GI Joe stand for? And it says right there, galvanized iron, interpreted as government issue. So I'm like, I'm gonna believe that. I'm gonna believe the galvanized iron because that makes them seem like super soldiers, which is so much cooler. Well, considering I've already applied a wash to the model, I don't believe you. Like, do you mean, like, what kind of washes are you using? Oh, government issue is actually printed on the kit bags to the soldiers? Well, that's lame. I wanted to believe it was galvanized iron. I'm still gonna accept that. Oh, Ivan, that sounds really cool. Another reason to diss Google. That is fair. Did they used to receive something maybe in the pack that they would give to the soldiers that was some sort of galvanized iron? Because it could be both. Like, there's total precedent for being, you know, derivative of two sources generally, so maybe it is. Mr. Sneaky Mind, hello. Nice, well, I'm glad you've been enjoying the content. And also, welcome to the channel. It's lovely to have you here. Alright, let's keep working on our tank. So we are working on this section now. It's like, where am I? What am I doing? Got distracted by my break, and then talking about GIs. Yeah, okay. If that's what you're concerned for, I am not using any enamel paints. What? Why are you applying a thinner to... Like, are you using the old, like, toxic thinners? Because even mineral spirits shouldn't, like, do that bad. Like, I get how enamel and oil washes might take it up, but I don't plan on using any enamel or oil washes. This is all water-based stuff, so nothing should be taking my paint up. I mean, two heads talking, isn't pride and chest thumping half of being in the military? So I do think it has something to do with it. Honor and pride about it are half the deal. Sure as shit ain't the money. Ivan, yes, you can find all of my social media links in the link tree down below. My Instagram is listed there. Really? I have never known mineral spirits to eat through the plastic before. I also don't use them specifically very often because I hate working with oils. Partially because all of the things that you have to do with them are terrible for you and stinky. Also, I am much more of a watercolor girl. So anytime I get to play with water-based paints that are more flowy like that, much prefer it. Get that. Not easily, but with patience. Thank you, sentient Earth. Yeah, sentient. It's so weird to me that there are such drastically different, like that there isn't more overlap within these two fields. So, because you talk to heads about how scale models is a little, like how traditionally scale model has been done differently than, say, wargamers. And why they're both painting miniatures. It's not like wargaming doesn't have tanks this size, if not larger. I find it fascinating. Like, it's just a weird thing that I don't understand, but it happens a lot. Of these nerd bubbles will just not intersect, even though you really think they should intersect a lot more. There is so much. It's the same thing with scale models in Gunpla. I talked about this on Twitter recently, actually. It blows my mind. So I go to Hobbies Unlimited to get all of my scale model stuff, and they have some like IP related things, but they don't have any Gundam. Zero Gundam. And then I know other stores in my area that are specifically Gunpla stores, and they don't sell any scale models at all. And yet the tools used for Gunpla would be fantastic to use on scale model stuff. And I think some of the paints and other like basing material techniques for Gunpla, or that you use on scale models, would be amazing for Gunpla. So like the fact that they don't overlap more is bizarre to me. And the same thing happens with wargaming, because like wargaming, you would think would especially overlap with military scale models because they're all war games. They're all based off of some element of real war. And so, but there is such little actual overlap, and I don't know why. And honestly, it kind of makes me sad. Because they get so isolated. It's just like this weird, strange thing that I just feel like is completely unnecessary. There's sometimes hostility, like, oh my god, you're doing it differently. That's not how my community does it. And then it's so weird. It's like, no, should we be embracing the different techniques? Learn from our other hobbyists, our other model builders. Also, give me your tools! It's especially funny to me because Tamiya is a Japanese company, and so is Gunpla. So is Bandai. Also, focus, camera. There we go. That's what I mean, is like, why are they different? What about the clippers that you need for, like, scale models is actually that different than what you would want to be using on, like, I don't actually have different tools. I literally use the exact same clippers for this that I do all of my Warhammer, all of my Star Wars Legion, all of my Star Wars Shatterpoint, all of my Marvel Crisis Protocol. Any miniature I have to clip out, I use the exact same tools. Why isn't there more overlap? It blows my mind. You would think the companies too would want to. Like, actually, I think that Woodland Scenics recently has taken the plunge into war gaming materials. And from my understanding, it's like an entire line of their existing products in smaller scales designed for wargamers. And I'm like, yeah, what? Like, this should have happened ages ago. Why are you only doing this now? Why are you doing this now in 2023 and not like back in 2006? Like, what? It should all interweave because they're all part of the same hobby, just different aspects of it. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Me using a wet palette will probably be relatively unlikely since I like to work with contrast paints and speed paints and they just don't work as good with wet palettes because they're already so fluid. I do think they can work, but I don't know how like well it does. I do have actually like 2 wet palettes. I have one from Redgrass Games, which I really like. I have used that a little bit in the past, but not much. And then I have an Army Painter one, like a smaller travel size one from Army Painter. I have not seen the models and tools from the IPMS Nationals. What does IPMS stand for, Charlie? I'm not familiar with what that is. Is that a scale model, international, something, model, something? I don't know. Actually, no. Tell me what it stands for. Okay, I think this is feeling pretty good. The one thing I do want to do is use a little bit of this light gray. I don't think I've done anything on the front of this. Scale modelers. Yeah, no, I understand that. It's an interesting concept, and I do, like, here's the thing. I understand what you mean, that guy at LX. I get it. But the one other perspective, just to play devil's advocate really quickly, that I want to throw out there is, while you and I may already be very aware of, say, Woodland Scenics, for example, as products and totally usable on Wargaming already, unfortunately, because of this overlap problem that we've been talking about, a lot of people don't realize it, which is odd because I feel like a lot of YouTubers talk about them, but still, it's something that kind of gets missed sometimes. And so while I do agree that it is annoying sometimes as an already in the know consumer to see a company do that, I do appreciate it because it does mean that, say, a gaming store will end up then carrying that product because they know they'll be more likely to move the smaller packaging of that same product line as opposed to the much larger quantities that, say, the scale modeler people get their stuff in from the same company, because those are just harder to sell to an audience that maybe is less familiar with them. And so while they might have a few people who are like, ooh, yes, Woodland Scenics, can you please get me the, larger quantity of all of this grassing? Please. I know that they sell it in big old tubs. Other people may want to experiment, and so this gives them a good way to experiment. Okay, also, it stands for International Plastic Model Society. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you. But yeah, I do think that is one of the reasons why I think it's beneficial. Even though I understand exactly where you're coming from, if it is annoying for us as the in-the-know people to see these do this, because it just kind of feels like, well, I'd rather just get your larger quantity stuff and you make it easier for me to get that. But at the same time, it does mean that more people will see it, which does mean that our hobby in general will expand and we'll have more people to then share their ideas on how to actually get some of this stuff done or to interpret painting a tank or a miniature or whatever, because the more people that know about it, the more we'll get interested in it, and then the more art we'll have to consume, enjoy, and adapt to. And I really, really like that. But I do also understand that it's mildly insulting. I just try to look at it from the perspective of, I want more people in this hobby, so I will accept a company trying to like branch into a new section of the hobby in that regard. Even though it is ridiculously bogus to me that it's not new to them, it's absolutely the same goddamn thing. People just don't know about it. It is one of those things I struggle with as a content creator, honestly, sometimes, or just like as a fan of this hobby. When I look at stuff like that, and I'm like, we should all just be using the same things! It's all art! Do what you want! Have fun, experiment, play around. If you screw up, just try again. It's cool. It's cool. That's the whole point. It's to have fun and make something awesome. Do it. Just... Exactly. And I think Woodland Scenics, I personally am very glad to see that they're doing this, because I'm like, yes, I want more people to know about Woodland Scenics so that more people carry the stuff, so I find it easier to find and be able to experiment myself. It's great. Okay, that's looking good. Let's work on this section. Right? Exactly. Darkside Bob, I am so excited for the Fulgrim model. The only thing that has me disappointed is the fact that he is in fact confirmed resin. And my garbage can is not down there anymore. And that makes me a little sad, because I don't like working in resin. But he's still beautiful, and I want him, and I love his snake body. Oh my god. And his beautiful wings. He's so tall. I think he's like this big. He's like huge. He's perfect. Which is as it should be, because he's fucking Fulgrim. He'd probably fuck himself, let's be honest. Yeah, I just thought that sounded sort of weird, so I figured I'd emphasize it. Alright, we need to do some work on this, because, like, okay, just to... Look how much more defined and cool this looks than this does. Oh, that sounds really cool, Ronald. I do pick up some Woodland Scenic stuff from time to time when I go to my scale model shop, when I go to Hobbies Unlimited. Because that's the only place that I know of that I can specifically get, like, the stuff that I'm looking for when I want it. The problem is I don't do dioramas enough to, like, or even, like, that much grass basing sometimes to justify getting some of those big tubs of, like, tufting, even though I really like them. They delight me. But I can't justify it because I'm like, well, I don't do large scale projects, which is one of the, I guess, other reasons why they might be doing the smaller amounts. Is because people are like, well, I don't want to buy this big one because I know I'm only going to do this, like, once, kind of thing, you know? Very gently glazing these rivets. Just to pop them a bit more. and then kind of focusing the hard edges. For a faux edge highlight look. I mean, technically, I guess it's still edge highlighted, it's just not edge highlighted in the traditional way. Do this side a little bit, but then after that I think this is pretty much good. I have not tried MIG Armor dry brushing paint. I have not actually heard of that brand before. I completely agree. It should absolutely all be all about having fun. Hello, Sean! You missed my Woodland Scenics rant. About how it's funny to me that they are making a smaller wargaming scale product that is their exact same product line, just in smaller packaging, which I have mixed feelings about, because on one hand, I love the fact that the smaller packaging means that it can end up in game stores, which are very unlikely to necessarily have Woodland Scenics in their stores because they're kind of bulkier products in large quantities, and so not as many wargamers are necessarily wanting to buy in that scale. So these are smaller sample size packs so that those types of people can sample them, see if they like them, and try that. And it's just, you missed a good rant. Got it, it's from Spain. Excellent. I'll have to give that a try, or at least look into it. I've never, like I said, I've never heard of them before. Are they, do they have their, like, own website, or are they carried by somebody? You're very, very welcome. Okay, the Plastic Soldier line? Are they... Is that the brand name? It's called, they're called Plastic Soldier, or is there a different brand name that's associated with them so that I can make sure that I'm finding what you're talking about more easily when I do a search later? Because that does sound cool. I do like the idea of, like, painting some wargaming scale, but realistic models. Okay, that feels so much better to me. Oh yeah. We didn't do this section. I'm noticing. As I spin it slowly for you dramatically in the camera. looks better. Oh, thank you, Sean, for the $5. You are epic. For the full-size Woodland Scenic Fund. You got it. Don't worry. I haven't actually seen any of the new stuff that Woodland Scenics is, like, sort of started advertising a little bit in stores yet, but it's something I'm gonna definitely keep my eye on. But no, the only place I know where to get Woodland Scenics comes in the full-scale stuff at Hobbies Unlimited because they're amazing. I really agree. I think this is looking fantastic. I think I'm officially happy with our weathering step with the dry brushing technique. I'm very, very glad that the threads are popping a lot better now. I also like that the lines on, I don't know what this section is called, the guards, like the tread guards. I'm sure that's not the technical term for it, I apologize. But I do really like the way that that is looking. And I think after that, we're gonna start, well, I want to do the straps on the Jerry tanks in a different color. Do you think it'd be more appropriate for them to be brown in this era or like a black leather? Plastic Soldiers is the name of the company. Okay, cool. Brown? Okay, so it's more likely to be a brown than a black. Does everybody confer with that? Also, I'll be right back. I have like a little bit of a cramp in my leg and I want to walk it out. So I'm going to go do that for just like 2 seconds and then I'll be right back. While you guys continue to tell me whether or not these straps should be brown or black. Confirm. All right. The cramp is gone. I've also pet my cat. He is a good boy. What is the consensus? Everybody said weathered brown. All right, that's what we will go for. Since we need it to be brown, I do need to coat it. Ah, it's just one of my ones. See, this is one of my brushes that I've used for glue. Because as you can see, hold on, let me get to focus. Okay. Look how little flex there is now to this. Ow, it stabbed me. Okay, I'm gonna stop playing with it. It has decided to hurt me. I need this. This will work. We'll use our Tamiya modeling brush on our Tamiya model. All right, I need a wraith bone. I need wraith bone is what I want. Oh, that's really cool. I'll have to check it out. MJW models, huh? All right. Let's see what your stock looks like. All right, we've got a little bit of Wraithbone. This is gonna look super bizarre on top of everything that we've done so far, but I promise it'll be fine. We're also going to take this guy off so that I don't actually get paint on it. We're making some progress. Although I do need a little bit more paint. Whew. Sorry for my quietness, I'm just concentrating on pulling a straight line. Okay, that side looks good. I want to emphasize or clean that up a little bit more. Alright, that's better. Okay. Looks good. Let's do this other side. Michael, do you ship worldwide or do you have limited shipping for your online store? Sometimes it's not possible at the same time. Sometimes I also just run out of things to say because I'm like, well, I am working on a really boring section right now. I'm just retouching up some areas that I'm going to paint with a little bit of brown. And there's nothing really exciting to say about that. Oh, nice. That makes sense. I don't blame you for not wanting the hassle of dealing with import. That makes complete sense to me. Thank you for subscribing, Struz88 Wicking. But do you ship internationally? You post to many countries, including the US. Okay, cool. I just saw your comment about that, so you don't have to re-answer that question. You know what? That makes sense. I completely get that. I don't think I would necessarily decide to order one of those gigantic war chips or something. I just go to Hobbies Unlimited for that, but smaller stuff might be kind of cool. I also want to see what you have, like, in, you know, what you actually offer. Alright, let's get some brown paint on these. So you guys were saying more of a weathered... Would you say more of a darker brown, or a mid-tone brown, or a light brown? I'm assuming darker brown. And I'm just debating which of my contrast colors I want to use specifically. So let me know what you guys think. Like, would you think more of, like, a darker reddish brown, or a mid-tone yellowish brown? Those are where I'm leaning. Tell me which one you think would be better. And in the meantime, I'm gonna snack a little bit. Forgive me. Chocolate brown? Okay. I think we're gonna go with some snakebite leather then. Because I can layer that darker. Let me just grab... Where is my snakebite? Black Legion, Dark Oak Flesh, Orphanter Fur, Basilic, where the fuck? Gargax Sewer. You know what? We'll use Gargax Sewer. Where's my snakebite leather? I am confused. Oh, is it here? Oh, yes, here we go. Alright. Might do a mix of these. All right. Alright, that's one side done. Basically, I'm going to do all of them and then go back over them all with a second layer to add some depth. There we go. Almost done with this side too. Okay. Alright, I'm actually quite happy with that. Keep looking. Okay. First layer's on. Let's go ahead and start doing a little bit of emphasis. Are you talking about living in London? Because I think that's where I saw that one of you was from. Is that what you're talking about specifically? Oh, thank you. I really enjoy just like techno trance. Let's see, what is this technically called? Retrowave, synthwave. I really enjoy that kind of music, so I constantly put it on. Also, this is all royalty free, so it means that the stream doesn't get copyright struck, which is great. Oh no. Well, I mean, I can't say for living there, but I've visited and I really liked it. Do you get to at least go to like, well, I guess the Games Workshop store isn't in London, is it? No, it's in it's up north, I think, from where London is. There we go. I think this is looking quite well weathered, actually. I also tried to leave it a little bit lighter where the bends would be, assuming that the leather would be sort of stretched. I don't know how super easily you guys can see it, but I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks good in real life. Some nice leather, weathered brown straps. Thank you, Ole. Alright, we just have the one side left to do, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up. Oh! Just have to... I forgot I already base coated it. Just need to do the, darkening. Cool. And there is the other side. This thing is so shiny in comparison to anything else on this tank, because it hasn't had any weathering or anything done like that to it. Oh my goodness. Alright, I think that is where we are going to go ahead and call it today. I am very happy with where this is at. I actually am now, I think, ready to officially start moving on to working with some powders. So that's probably the next thing that I'm going to do, but I probably won't do it on camera with you guys. I want to save a little bit of this for the video itself, which will be coming out in like a week or two, I think. So it will be very soon. You'll see the final completed Panzer 38T, and I'm very excited to showcase it to you. Thank you guys so much for joining me today in my hobby live stream. I had a great time with this. Tomorrow we'll be back and we'll be playing some Starfield, because I want to give that a little bit of a try. I haven't been the most hyped for the newest Bethesda game, but I have access to it because I bought the premium edition, and I was like, you know what, screw it, we're gonna give it a shot. Because I do love Skyrim, and I'm a massive, massive fan of Oblivion. So I'm hoping that maybe this is Skyrim in space. We'll find out. We'll find out together. I hope that you guys will be able to join me for that. I believe we'll be starting at 11 a.m., but I will make sure to, if that changes or anything for whatever reason, I'll let you guys know. But that is my going forward intended start time. But yes, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.